My name is AnnickMagac. I am the author of Clear. I am a coach. I am what am I today? Well, we're mostly talking about business, so let's, all right, cool, I'll text you later. So I wanted to talk today about mastermind groups. As an entrepreneur, especially on the online realm, I work online, and then I also coach one-on-one. Most of my coaching clients are online, and I have a few that are in person, but the majority are online, or we work together via Skype or phone, because I can work with anybody in the world, and it offers me the opportunity to have flexibility in my schedule, which I love, and they also love, the clients love. But today I wanted to talk about masterminds because this past year I've become part of a mastermind group. Now, we had originally, it was a bunch of us female entrepreneurs. We had been together in a closed group, a Facebook group, where we were with the realm of the fitness and health industry. So that was our commonality. And then we had this Facebook group where we had a small group together where we could just share ideas and talk. We all were starting to get, and we've been in this group probably about, I'd say, 2 to 3 years. Some of us one, so let's say 1 to 3 years. As we've been evolving and our businesses have been growing, most of us have been really feeling the call to elevate our game, and also know that within that small group that we had, we were starting to see that everybody was starting to develop specific niches and focuses, and also having great strengths in some areas. So we decided to start a mastermind group together, whoever was really interested and really wanted to commit. Now, not everybody from this Facebook group decided to join the mastermind group, and that was totally fine. We honored where everybody was at. Some people just wanted to keep their health and fitness as a hobby, or in the future they want to grow it into a business, but right now is not necessarily the right time, such as family obligations. They had jobs, full-time day jobs, whatever their situation might be. And with a mastermind, it's important when you're developing one is that everybody has a commonality that they want to accomplish. So a bunch of us, there's seven of us all together. There were 8. And we got together. We decided to create this mastermind group, and we based it, the easiest way to do it was to base it on a podcast by Amy Porterfield. And I'm sure a lot of you know who she is. She's an excellent online business guru. I was going to say Amy Poehler. That would have been really cool if she was the inspiration for this. Probably in some of our humor, hopefully. Anyway, Amy Porterfield had done a podcast where she went on and talked about a mastermind group that she had been involved with, and a few that she's been involved with. So she kind of gave guidelines, and all of us listened to that because it was a lot easier for us to listen to one common podcast than for all of us to pull a lot of research. We're all busy, so we, as entrepreneurs, want to kind of cut down our time that we need to do. So what we ended up doing is that we all listened to this podcast, and then we met in person in North Carolina, and we put a Sunday together where we all met. And when we met in person, instead of having our first meeting through a Facebook group or online or in a phone call, we got together and we formulated what rules and guidelines we liked and we didn't like. So for instance, we used Amy Porterfield's outline, but then we adjusted it to our needs. So what we're doing is that we're meeting once a month via a call, Google Hangouts, and then we have follow-up, and then we also have a private Facebook group that we're doing so that we can bounce ideas and questions off of each other that come up daily. And I have to say that I think all of us were a little bit nervous about committing to a mastermind group. I think probably one of the biggest, and I'm going to speak for everybody when I say this, and so I'm sure some of the other ladies, if they were ever to listen to this Periscope, that they would probably either agree or disagree with what I'm going to say. But I think that we can all relate that for a group to be successful, everybody needs to get along, or there needs to be a criteria to ensure that there are some guidelines for getting along or for dealing with conflict. And I think that the second thing that probably most of us were worried about was, is everybody really willing to commit to this, or are we going to start off strong and then interest is just going to peter out? Well, two things came to light when we got together for this mastermind group, and that was that number one, we all clicked, which was fantastic. There were a couple of people that couldn't join us live, but it didn't even matter. It ended up that everybody just really clicked and there was a strong bond that got together. I have to say that that has been the most rewarding thing about being in this mastermind group, beyond the business stuff, which I will get into. But just the fact of connecting with people who are in your same interest, have the same concerns, are going through the same life struggles that you are, and having the accountability and having these great relationships. I have to say that I would say that in the time that we've had our mastermind group, that we've all actually grown a lot closer. And it's been, that's my radar detector. It's been just huge, and I think really empowering to be, for me, in this wonderful group of women who are all extremely talented, intelligent, and driven, and unapologetic about their strengths and their weaknesses, which can be really tough. It's hard to put yourself in a vulnerable position because as a business owner, I think everybody wants to always feel like they've got it together, and that we have this false idea that if we show that everything's always working, that our business is successful, that somehow if we have problems with an aspect or we need questions, that we won't, we feel like that's a weakness and that somehow that's going to reflect badly on our business. But I think to become a really great entrepreneur is to always keep yourself open to new ideas, new influences, and being open to asking for help. That's probably going to be the number one struggle for a lot of people, is actually asking for help. I mean, how many of us, especially if you own your own business, you're used to doing things all by yourself or delegating them out, but not necessarily asking for help. Okay. The second thing that was important about this, and I talk about whether or not everybody was actually going to be into it or not, is that sometimes when a group comes together and they want to make a decision, some people will just decide to say yes, not necessarily because they are 100% hell yeah into doing it, but more that they feel like if they don't do it, they're going to miss out. On the online realm, if you're developing your business, that can be a little bit of a struggle, because if you look at everything that way, with social media and everybody always putting on their highlight reel, you're always going to have FOMO and always feel like you're missing out. Whether your business, there's going to be people that you're going to look out and say, oh my God, I can't believe that this person's crushing it. I think we started at about the same time. And then the comparison thing starts. So we talked about everybody being on the same rail to truly do this and bring their businesses to the next level. It was important that we were all on the same page, and thankfully that has really worked out well. We also made the commitment, and one of the rules for us was that every 3 months that we had the opportunity to assess and reevaluate. So for instance, right now, if this mastermind group is working for me and it fits into my schedule and I feel like I'm getting something from it and I'm not having any odd outside influences, that I will decide to continue with it. But we never know what's going to happen in life. There could be, unfortunately, a tragedy that happens. We could lose someone close to us. We could lose our job. We can, have a flood and our business totally evaporates. You never know. So we wanted to have the opportunity to say that every 3 months you can reevaluate and say, yes, I want to continue with this, or no, at this time, I don't want to continue with it. And for everybody to be in a comfortable place that also says, if this isn't working for me, it's no hard feeling to anyone in the group, because we can sometimes take what we perceive as rejection personally, when really it's not. That decision should only be made by one of the members in the mastermind group, that they really actually want to do that. The best thing that has happened with the mastermind, and this is why I just I really suggest to anybody, if you own your own business, and even if you don't own your own business, but I'll just use an example because a lot of my clients are corporate. If you work a corporate job, and say you're in the marketing department, a mastermind group outside of work with other people in different marketing departments from different companies, different industries, could be highly effective for you actually performing your job better. You could share ideas, you could bounce off projects that have worked, things that haven't worked, maybe social media tactics that have worked, that haven't worked, or maybe you'll be inspired, say if you're in the solar